am so grateful for everything, and I just feel so incredibly blessed. But I mean, the realization of, you know, when you're famous and you can't go back, that's really weird for me. You know, I had that realization like 3 or 4 months ago, and it's just like, wow, you know what I mean? I don't want you to pity me or anything, because I wouldn't change my life for anything. I just remember about the Mickey Mouse Club. Let me see. Well, we had it made. I mean, we'd get up at like 9 o'clock, and then we'd work till like 6. And you were in Florida, and you had like your little apartment. Everyone lived in the same apartment complex. And there was just like a bunch of kids on the show. There's like 20 kids on the show. So we were just on the set, and we'd have so much fun and goof off, and they catered to us so much. And I was the youngest, so everyone was like, oh, you know, pampered me and everything. So it was so much fun. It was a lot of fun. And you got to sing, dance, and act on the show. So it was cool.
Do you remember, was there any point at which was it a gradual thing that you decided, this is what I want to do for a career?
It was probably when I was on the Mickey Mouse Club that I realized that I had such a major love for music, because we had concerts and we got to be in the recording studio, and I was just in love with music, and that's when I realized I want to, you know, go for this. But when the show was canceled, sad, I went home, and I was just like a normal kid, you know, I went to the prom and the whole homecoming deal. And then I was like, you know, I want to perform again, and I want to get out there. And I had an entertainment lawyer, Larry Rudolph, in New York, and I came up there, and pop music was coming back, and it just really made sense. So I went to Jive Records, and they signed me.
Now tell me, where were you when your album went #1, and what did you think about it?
Where was I when my album? Actually, I was in West Palm Beach, and I had a show to do that night, and I was sleeping and I was resting, and Barry Weiss, the guy from, he's like the president of the record label, he called me on the same line with my manager, and they called and they're like, well, guess what? They said, your album debuted at #1, and I thought, for some reason, because I was sleeping, I thought they meant that the single went to #1, and this is before we even knew about the single. And I was like, oh yeah, the single went to #1. I was like so excited, and they're like, no, your album. I just totally flipped out. I was like, what? I said, oh my gosh, you know, I didn't expect that at all, you know. So I was so excited. I was really, really excited. And then the next day, we found out about the single. So I was like, yeah. I was calling everybody. I was calling my mama, my granny, my little sister, just everybody.
Does the way that Baby One More Time has just exploded in the last few months surprise you at all, or did you have a good feeling about that song?
Well, I hoped and I dreamed, you know, it would. And oh
did
yeah.
you think that was the one, though, that would break through for you?
Yeah, I totally did. The first time, you know, they brought it to the record label and they played the song, I was just like, this song is, you know, gonna be it. You know, I was so excited. And, you know, I was worried, you know, because I'd worked, you know, for a year for so long, and I was really hoping and wanting it to do well. But then when it debuted at so, you know, really high, I was just like, oh, I was so excited. I was really overwhelmed. So.
I want to ask you about Best New Artist. This is such a, you know, category that's been discussed over the years. You're up against Kid Rock and Macy Gray and Christina and Susan Tedeschi. How do you feel about this category?
It's such an honor just to be nominated, seriously. I'm actually more concerned with my performance, though. Once that's over with, I'll be able to relax. I'm really kind of stressed out about that.
I've kind of just established my sound in the way I like to sing in the studio. That's a big part of making a song, I think, is when you hear a song, and even if you really don't like the demo, if you can go into the studio and make it yours, and like you own the song, that's really, really important when I do a song.
What kind of change do you think this new record tells about you? A lot of strength on this record.
Yeah, I'm really excited about this record, just that I've had a lot more involvement with it, and it's just really special to me. I mean, every song I can almost totally relate to. And I think it's definitely more mature, it's edgier, it's funkier, and it's fun. And it's very diverse. It has songs like Satisfaction that have so much attitude, and then songs like Dear Diary, and it just captures all those moods, especially as being a teenager. We have all those moods that we go through, and it's cool to have an album like that. This album is definitely a little bit more mature than the first album. I was 16 when I recorded the first album. And I think I have more input, and it's more me. I'm more confident in the studio, and I think that's definitely going to come across. Pop is definitely, you know, music that makes you want to stand up, makes you happy, and it's fun, you know, and that's what it's all about, you know, being happy and fun. And I love pop songs that also tell stories, too.
How on earth are you going to top what you did on stage last year?
You know what? My main concern for this performance is that I just don't fall. Seriously. I just, you know, I want to go out there and do the best I can do, and hopefully people will like that, so.
Now, this is a new song that you're performing?
Yeah, no one's ever heard it before, so we'll see. I'm kind of nervous about that.
Can you tell me a little bit more about the song itself?
Really, it's talking about me just wanting to go to a club and do my own thing, and just the chorus of the song is "I'm a slave for you," and it's talking about just being a slave for music and a slave for love, and so.
I wanted to do a movie that I was just really proud to be a part of. I was thrown so many different scripts in my direction, but this movie, just what it was saying, was just really beautiful.
Where was the idea behind it? Where did the idea come from, this particular film?
Well, really, when I was younger, I've had my 3 best friends. Till this day, I still have my Courtney, Jansen, and Laura Lynn. And I just, I don't know, the whole concept came up of me, you know, me being with my girlfriends and us growing up with each other. And I wanted to do a teen movie, but I wanted to do something that teenagers could watch and be touched by, you know. And all of them have their own little issues, but at the same time, they have each other. And at the end of the day, that's what matters.
Actually, I saw it for the first time yesterday.
Ooh.
So I was really, really excited. It was just bizarre seeing yourself on the big screen. You know what I mean? I was like watching it and I was like, oh my gosh, you know. But it's very sweet. It's very sweet and it's very heartfelt. And I cried in it. Like it was so weird. When I first was watching it, I was, you know, I'm not Britney Spears. I'm this dorky girl named Lucy. You know, and I'm watching it and I don't have that much makeup on, I'm not really glamorous, so it was just bizarre me playing someone else, you know, but then I got so lost into the character that I was just like so involved in the movie. It was really cool, you know, but I was crying and laughing and it was very cool.
So what's it feel like now, just as things are building up towards the release to the album? Are you excited? Are you nervous? Are you?
I'm everything. I don't know what I am. I'm excited, I'm nervous. When you're in the studio, all you can do is not think about that stuff, is just to really go inside yourself and trust me, I've had time to do that, and just to really go there and just do what feels right for me. And if anything, it's not about, for me, selling 50 million records or anything like that. It's just really about, you know, doing what feels right and expressing myself the way I want to express myself. And as long as you do that, you know, and you're happy with it, that's all that matters.
There are no extremes on the album. I really feel like it's tight. It's like it keeps you, and I can't believe how cheesy this is, in the zone. Like in that zone, it keeps you in that space wherever you need to be.
Exactly.
It's like
Well,
that's where
thank
it
you.
is.
Cool.
Is that why you called it In the Zone? I mean, what is that zone for you?
Well, I think the reason, the whole meaning behind that is just really, I think even when you're dancing or you're on stage or you're at a club and you're letting yourself go, I think mentally you go through this mental state where like nothing really exists. You're just in your own world and you kind of just, you're on this meditative state where nothing can touch you. And I think that's, you know, a cool state to be in. That's when most of the creative process comes to you. And I think that's where the song comes from.
I think some people choose to put on their record stuff that's very, very personal to them. And I think that's just making it, my personal opinion, just it's exposing yourself a little bit too much, and I don't feel comfortable doing that. And so my personal life, I've learned my lesson. It's just to kind of keep it to yourself, you know, because they kind of just, I just don't think it's cool to do that to other people's expense. I don't think that's very cool.
Okay.
If you understand what I'm trying to say.
I'm trying to read between the lines. Is it possible to actually have a private life though when you're a star of your stature?
You know what? There is, just to, you know, think of it as your art and do it. And when you continuously do it about the music and when you always have the right intentions, I think it's cool. But once you start bringing other things into it, then that's not what it's about for me personally. And that's the way I like to keep it. Some people, they like to bring other things into it. That's fine. But, you know, they've got to go to bed with that at night.
My greatest experience, wow. Probably being with Madonna. The Kiss with Madonna was amazing. It was just being on stage with someone of that caliber. It's just, you know, iconic and just wonderful to be able to do. I hope people like listen to my music and it just makes them feel good and it makes them feel something. You know what I mean? Like when they hear it, like they turn the radio on and they just, it puts them in a good mood. It brightens their day. You know what I mean? Or like when they see me perform or whatever, it makes them want to, you know, there's a feeling as a performer when you get on stage, you're just like, you just come into this being and you just like, you feel so much and you're just going full out. And it's just like expressing yourself, you know? Like when I was younger and I'd watch Madonna and Michael, it's like they didn't care about anybody being around. It was like, you know, they just went there. They went through this zone where they're just like, you know, performing and putting their heart out there, you know?
And that's what I hope to do for people. I hope they see that and that inspires them.